Hi, my name's Ian McPherson. I'm the Managing Director of Affresol. This is Affresol's factory in Swansea. We've got 30,000 square foot here, and this is where we actually make our synthetic concrete product. The management team that we've got here consists of myself, Scott Phillips, who's our production director, got a background in production and waste management. Craig Sugar, Craig's our technical director. He's previously Barrett's technical director and worked in the construction marketplace for about 20 years. We've got a non-executive director, and that's Nigel Broderick. Nigel's got a track record in developing businesses and selling those businesses. My background was originally in the IT marketplace. In the early 90s, I set up a software business, grew it, subsequently sold that to Mysis PLC. After that, I bought an IT business in Bath. It was turning over about £4 million when we bought it, and we grew that business to £28 million in 3 years, sold that to an American software business. Since 2002, 2003, I've been acting as NED, chairman for a variety of companies, looking for that next opportunity, which came along in 2006-07, which is when I got involved with Affresol. Just give you a quick introduction to TPR, which is the synthetic concrete product that we make. We take in mixed plastic waste and waste minerals that would normally go to landfill. And this is an example of the sorts of materials that we take in. These are purgings from extrusion, PVC from windows that has got neoprene in it. These are all materials that are absolutely, utterly useless. We take those materials, we process those materials through a shredding machine, and that shredding machine produces this sort of thing, which is basically all of those broken up into smaller particles, and from that we actually granulate this and we produce this, which is an aggregate. Once we produce that aggregate, from this material goes into our mixing process. This is the aggregate in the mixing process along with the minerals. And from that we cast sections, and those sections go to make garages, enclosures and house frames. What I'd like to do is just give you a quick demonstration of how durable the material is. And this is a demonstration that we do for Housing Association when they're visiting the factory. This demonstration generally is a comparison of TPR with traditional concrete. Traditional concrete is very brittle, and if you hit traditional concrete with a hammer, it's going to break. And anybody that's used paving slabs before will recognise that from concrete. As you can see, this is pretty well being used as a demonstration, but did that with concrete, it would be in a dozen pieces on the ground there. History shows that the most successful businesses are those that have identified a must-fix problem and can produce a practical and cost-effective solution to that problem. If the problem is global, then the magnitude of the potential is increased exponentially. Global warming is a major issue. It's a problem that will not be solved by one solution. The experts have recognised that the answer will be many diverse solutions in areas of renewable energy and recycling, and that together these solutions will make a real impact in ensuring that planet Earth can continue to support life as we know it. In the last 50 years, we've been oblivious to the effects of consumer-led society. We have global warming on an unprecedented scale, massive depletion of our natural resources. Just have to look at how much we're paying for gas and petrol. We now have aggressive international carbon reduction targets. and recognition by international governments that we must address the problem of sustainability. It's a fact that we live in a throwaway society that has to change its habits. So what's the catalyst that's going to ensure that we change? In many countries around the world, materials like glass and timber and metals and paper are recycled as a matter of course. That's not to say that we could not do more. However, plastics are a relatively new invention, and they're being used more and more in our everyday lives. But only 40% of the plastics are actually recycled in the UK, and we're one of the better recycling countries around the world. In many countries around the world, they're adopting and promoting the circular economy model, which is about increasing the amount of renewable energy generated and increasing the amounts of materials that are diverted away from landfill. Fundamentally, the circular economy is about more recycling and more renewables. Here in the UK, it's central government and local government and their associated bodies that are the key drivers. This is being achieved through policy and legislation, like the Code for Sustainable Homes and the feed-in tariff that we all pay as part of our energy bills. Affresol has focused on the recycling element of the circular economy, with a specific focus on mixed plastic waste, which is a major global problem. In the UK, we send 2.8 million tonnes of mixed plastic waste to landfill every year, and this figure is growing year on year. There are limited statistics available on how much industrial plastic waste is sent to landfill every year. Mixed plastic waste is a serious problem. It's being prioritised by the EU, who are in the process of producing a green paper with a view of banning plastics from landfill. We have to ask the question, do we as a society actually need plastics? They're in all aspects of our everyday life. They've made massive improvements to our lives through healthcare, food and housing, etc. There are alternatives, but they would be more expensive and significantly increase our carbon footprint. So yes, we do actually need plastics, but we also need a practical solution to the volumes of mixed plastic waste currently being dumped into landfill. There's an international demand for a practical solution to the non-recyclable mixed plastic waste problem. Some can be separated and then recycled. Other selected products can be used to extrude plastic products such as decking, shuttering, etc. But this requires an intensive and expensive heating and cooling systems. Governments can encourage manufacturers to change their process to limit the amounts of waste, but governments must also encourage industry and the public to buy more products that are made from recycled mixed plastic waste. Our synthetic concrete product contains 68% mixed plastic waste that has been diverted from landfill. TPR has similar structural attributes to concrete, and it has a 4 times better thermal resistance quality than concrete. It's 100% recycled at end of life, and the product is supported by the Carbon Trust. Our synthetic concrete product is not the panacea that will resolve all the mixed plastic waste problems that exist around the world today, and it will not completely replace traditional concrete. However, TPR is a better solution than concrete in many applications. By sub-licensing this technology around the world, we will help to reduce the size of the mixed plastic waste problem, and in parallel, Affresol will be able to generate significant revenues and profit. This is just a few of the application areas for TPR synthetic concrete. You will notice that we focused in the product areas rather than the concrete and the ground areas. This is because these product areas for TPR is a much better and more appropriate solution. The potential market for TPR worldwide is huge. Heidelberg Concrete, who own Hansen Industries, have an annual turnover in excess of 11 billion euros. And the worldwide concrete market is estimated to be in the excess of $120 billion per annum. Our UK focus is in the enclosures, garages and house frames markets, which together represents a market of nearly £700 million. In the UK, Affresol is looking to achieve a market penetration of 1.75% within the next 3 years, which equates to £12 to £14 million. The international opportunities for TPR synthetic concrete are enormous. We intend to focus on the USA, Canada, the European Union, South America and the Middle East. We're already in discussions with Abu Dhabi Ready Mix with a view to them taking a license and an investment in Affresol. They have indicated that will help us provide the platform through their existing contacts to access the European Union and the USA. We are looking to sell each license for each geography, i.e. France, Germany, Italy, for £350,000 plus quarterly royalty payments based on production. Our target markets in the UK are housing associations, the Ministry of Defence, local authorities, renewable energy contractors and housing contractors. We're currently actively working with over 20 housing associations in the UK, several contractors and the Ministry of Defence. Overseas, we will be targeting builders, merchants, concrete manufacturers and other parties who have routes to market in their geography. Our pricing model is competitive with other players in the marketplace like concrete and GRP. With the house frames, we've pitched the price as cheaper than timber frame but more expensive than traditional block and brick. Our USP here is that we have the benefits of the speed of erection of timber frame but the robustness of brick and block. We anticipate our margins improving as we ramp up production and we get volume discounts on our resin purchases. We are currently looking to raise £250,000, of which we are looking for £100,000 from Crowdcube investors. We already have a committed investment from existing shareholders amounting to £90,000. We have an R&D tax credit due from HMRC for approximately £45,000, and following the investment round we will be looking to put an overdraft facility in place for up to £50,000 with our bankers. We intend to use the funds to upgrade our production line, increase our sales and marketing activity, start the international development in the USA, complete the mixing plant automation software in conjunction with Cardiff University, and the balance of the cash will be used as working capital. Our exit plan is that we're looking to exit the business within a 3-year period. We're looking to do this under the umbrella of a corporate partner, and we're already working with Abu Dhabi Ready Mix, who are a potential partner within this scenario. The other activities that we'll be focusing on are driving revenue, profit and cash in hand. We'll be looking to put in place a number of long-term housing contracts to create recurring income, and we'll be looking to put in place a number of international licenses which will also be generating recurring royalty payments. Just one point to note, and that is that Affresol were committed to the environment. We believe that the world does not have an endless supply of natural resources and change is already underway. However, do not misunderstand our business drivers. We're not tree huggers. We came into this business for the capital return, and that capital return for our shareholders is paramount to us. So why should you invest in Affresol? Well, there's a worldwide opportunity for a sustainable concrete alternative in the residential and commercial construction markets. We've got a strong management team with a record of delivering good returns for investors. There's huge royalty and license potential in other areas outside of the UK. We're operating at the forefront of the clean tech marketplace, which is in its relatively early stages in the USA and other countries around the world. There's massive potential for housing, whether it be executive housing, emergency housing, disaster housing around the world. And we believe that we're looking at an exponential return in 3 years. Finally, this is likely to be the last opportunity to invest before the business is sold. So I'd suggest you make the most of it. If you're interested or if you have any queries, please drop me an email. We'd also be happy to host a visit to our factory in Swansea to meet the team and see our production facilities, plus an option to visit a customer site. Thanks for listening.